Hello and welcome to Animated Wonders, an Explosion Network podcast where we celebrate animation in all of its forms. This is Animated Wonders. Joining me to discuss this week's Animated Wonder, Ashley Hogan.
Hey Dylan, excited to be here to talk about this star-studded film.
That's right, it certainly has stars. And
talk about the characters. Film. Oh yeah, it's the stars.
There we go.
The
we are talking about the Super Mario Galaxy movie, which just came out this week as of recording, obviously. Directed by Aaron Horvath, Michael Jelenic, written by Matthew Fogel, of course, based on Mario, and Star Fox is the credit by Nintendo. Starring Chris Pratt, Anya Taylor-Joy, Charlie Day, Jack Black, Keegan-Michael, Benny Safdie, Donald Glover, Glen Powell, and Brie Larson. Synopsis for this film was: Mario ventures into space, exploring cosmic worlds and tackling galactic challenges far from the familiar Mushroom Kingdom. I decided we don't really need a thematic breakdown. Let's just have a little bit of a old school spoiler discussion of this one, because I'll get your thoughts first, but also...
Yeah, I don't know if you want to date this one or not, but we're talking about this pretty much as it's releasing.
Yeah.
If you're coming back to this after, you're looking for a Super Mario Galaxy discussion, like months after its release. This is just as the movie's come out.
Maybe years from now, if we ever do a rewatch, I might take a different angle. But from now, I would just say the movie is empty enough that it does not deserve anything deeper than which it puts out. No, fuck you. I'm giving my thoughts first. So obviously, I wasn't a big fan of the first film. I gave it like a 5, I think, in our review. I think this one starts better and then ends worse, is how I would pretty much just describe my trajectory of this. The movie starts, I'm having a really good time. Yoshi's introduced. I think it's the cutest thing ever. I'm enjoying all the chemistry. I pretty much want nothing more than this new trio of Mario, Luigi, and Yoshi to just go on a little adventure. And then everything up into Peach, pretty much when she runs away, well, not runs away, but sets off on her separate adventure to find, I meant to blank character, Rosalina's, who's been captured by Bowser Jr. I think up until that, I thought I was off to a really good start, and I was feeling very positive, optimistic about the direction of the film and the way it was going to go. Because we, even in that conversation on the roof, we have a little bit more of a tease, a little bit more emotional depth to Peach talking about, again, like that one scene in the first movie where she talks about being alone and not knowing where she's from and things like that. And then the Rosalina stuff at the start of the movie I thought was really cool. So up until that, I was like, oh, we're off to a sort of interesting direction for this movie. Afterwards, it just turns into a reference-filled smorgasbord of scenes that just smoosh together one after another and are admittedly gorgeous to look at, and even admittedly do a very good job at integrating the larger Mario and Nintendo world into this animated creation. They've got two films in, and even adding the Star Fox thing works well, and all these other things, but the movie just becomes and it's, again, if you listen to anything else talk about, I hate things that are just nothing but referential little Easter egg things, scene after scene. I don't mind a good Easter egg. I don't mind a good reference. But when the movie is just nothing but that, pretty much scene after scene, and when the movie sort of, every good, I think, story element is just thrown in the bin or moved out of the way very quickly. Everything from Peach and Rosalina not really getting anything of a proper, I like an emotional or like a worthy climax to that long lost sisterhood. And I think the movie just does such a bad job at servicing that and the potential it has, to everything with Bowser. being this, they're my friends and all that sort of stuff, and then just the turn back. And then the argument can be made, but he's a villain. It was always going to go. So like, yeah, but I'm like, the couple interesting bits, story narrative wise, in this one, I think are just completely just pushed aside. Unsurprisingly, obviously, like the first movie, it's targeted at kids. Everyone who likes this movie and hears anything of, I've already seen it in comment sections, places like, oh, the movie's not deep. The movie doesn't deserve criticism. I'm like, unfortunately, my dude, everything is allowed. Everything deserves criticism. But I mean, I still had fun along the way. There was a few bits I really liked. Even some of the Easter egg stuff and the reference stuff that I'm shitting on. The 3 seconds of Pikmin got me. I was like, that's pretty funny. All the Yoshi stuff I really loved. The Yoshi scene at the start with the hypnotized by Notorious B.I.G., the only, I think, actual licensed track in the whole movie.
Oh, yeah. I know last time great. You were like very upset about the needle drops. This one, just the one.
Just the one, and I think it's a perfect use of a needle drop. Only having one song. Yeah, I couldn't argue about that. And again, it is very gorgeous. It's very pretty, but I just think it's such a vapid emptiness of a film, much like the first one. So to sum up my thoughts, if you love the first one, you will love this again because of the thing. But ultimately, for me, I think it starts better but ends worse. Now you're going to be a lot more optimistic because that's your role in the podcast. So tell me how you guys.
I don't think I'm going to be that much more optimistic. I think it is definitely, possibly of this new genre of film that's like pure fan service, and if you do enough fan service, then you get a pass from the fans, and they don't care that there's no meaningful story character development at all. Like, there's like a gazillion characters in this film, zero character development. Yeah. Nobody changes at all.
There was a guy 2-3 rows behind me who was 110% target audience. He looked about young 20s. Every time something happened, he yelled it out or cheered. Just
what was the audience like? Was it pretty full in your cinema?
It was like half, but I mean, they've been playing all day, so I assume a lot of kids went earlier.
That's true.
But obviously, there was a mix of kids still there. I went to a 6:45 one, so
yeah, mine was pretty full as well. And then there was a solid amount of people there who stuck to the very end of the credits. So that's how the hardcore people, And I did see a complete row full of people, top to bottom, Nintendo gear. So in the city. So I guess that's not surprising. But yeah, I think I very much agree with you. I think like it starts off strong, especially with the introduction of Yoshi, who was very adorable, and it just kind of dies out. Like there's so many references. I mean, it's cool to look at. It's a very pretty movie, I think, but there's no feeling in it at all, which is bizarre, and I don't know. Is it a product of Mario being a game property with barely any story? Is that why they can't tell it, or is it because they don't really want to show the characters, like dive deep into these characters? It just raises a lot of questions of what's the management for these characters like. Like, how much leeway is there for Illumination to like do their version of these characters rather than this kind of feeling like they're trying to do like a canon version of Nintendo, so they don't want to like take too many risks or like move the characters too far from where they always are within the canon of the games.
I mean, the thing I would say for that is video games is a different medium in which video games can run sort of a two trajectory path where you have some games that are solely focused on making these huge it's all gameplay and visuals and sound, I guess. There's the narrative need is non-existent, and it can get away with it because of the medium, and that's where Mario fits in, especially a lot of the early video games, of course. And then you've got video games that sort of lean more heavily into narrative, which is where The Last of Us comes in and stuff. Movies don't have that same thing. I think at the end of the day, no matter what movie it is, you can argue a movie doesn't have a lot of plot, but if you're not enjoying the characters, if you're not enjoying the world or whatever, it's not going to be a success. Like a movie doesn't need to tell a big, large story. It doesn't even need to have super deep characters. It just needs to have one of a couple of these different boxes and do it well. But
I mean, if you've either got to have story or you've got to have characters. You can't have none of either.
Yeah.
You know? Your people have to go through some sort of arc, you know. And the character who I guess technically does is Peach, but she is. I was reading a view about the film, and they said this is a weirdly dialogueless film, and it's kind of true. There's like not that much talking. There's a lot of spectacle and that kind of stuff. So
there's a lot of one-liners.
And Yoshi saying Yoshi.
Yoshi.
I mean, Jack Black gets to monologue and that kind of stuff. Weirdly, I feel like this is less funny than the first film as well.
Yeah, other than the Yoshi
maybe
stuff.
because Jack Black doesn't get to go as big and ham as he did in the first one.
Yeah, doesn't get the Peaches song.
Yeah, you know.
And Bowser Jr. is just not funny, and they don't. Well, it doesn't even seem like they've attempted to make him funny. So
no, he's just kind of one note. I want to be bad guy. I mean, I want to make my dad proud, but also, you know. I mean, if you were to look for some sort of theme in this film, I guess it's about family because it's like reuniting families all through the film, you know. But that's like pretty much a stretch because I don't think there was much thought given into this other than what cool things can we put in this film and how can we kind of string something together so they can all take place.
Yeah. And I mean, on that, even though I just said that, but
it's bad, but let's talk about how cool those things are.
Yeah. What were your favorite references or moments or things?
I mean, the Yoshi, like in New York, I think is maybe the best, one of the best moments. Like, really cool opening, and like the way they animated it was like third person behind Yoshi as he's walking through the streets of New York.
Just with that fat ass.
Why haven't they made a Yoshi game that looked like that? Just
they keep doing these styles. Stop with the bullies.
Side scrollers.
Stop with
let us watch Yoshi's fat ass.
Yeah, Yoshi's fat ass on New York.
Yeah, just walking the streets of places. That would be fantastic. I mean, anytime they like
it's a walking simulator.
The faux side-scrolling stuff, I think, which was the strong stuff in this first game. I think, especially I guess I would call it the Mario Maker moment
at the end. Yeah,
at the end. So I think that's probably
he literally has a Mario Maker like screen on his Bowser Jr. has going. So
I mean, he's a little, I know it's a fun thing, but like to have the 2D version of the game while they're doing the actual live action 3D thing, I think. All right, yeah. And then I guess the Star Fox, Fox McCloud appearing, which, how do you feel about that in hindsight? Them revealing that. Is it because they credited Star Fox in the credits of the film?
Possibly.
This is like, if that's going to be revealed, so we might as well just advertise him because,
And I mean, I guess he's not a cameo. He's in it more than.
I mean, he's credited.
Some other characters. Yeah.
And he's pretty heavily featured, so.
Yeah.
But his appearance is like built up as like he's going to be a cool character. So if you went in, you somehow managed to avoid finding out that Fox McCloud was going to be in this film. That's a cool reveal. Especially the story of how he came to this universe. So, I get to see his whole crew and then
the 2D
blaming on his frog engineer. I think they pulled straight from the game, like the shot of Frog Slippy in the corner and like with the shaky footage. Yeah. What about you? Got any highlights?
Well, yeah. Even though I'm not like know nothing, barely anything about the games, the Fox McCloud stuff was cool. Say more cameo stuff I liked. I enjoyed the Rob sequence. That was actually a funny.
Yes,
that was a funny moment.
That was a funny moment.
Yeah,
such a simple moment, but very funny.
Simple but fun. And that's the sort of stuff that Illumination does well. You could see that sort of joke in a Minions movie, Despicable Me movie. Even Peach's face, like really like hyper playing into stuff that they do out in their other films. So I enjoyed that. And then I thought it was the dumbest reference. However, it made me chuckle just at how idiotic it is to squeeze this in. And it is squeezed in because there's barely anything to do with Mario, which is right in the final fight where he chucks out a fucking Game & Watch character. The silhouetted dude. Like, that's such a weird ass pull to throw into
Smash
this
Brothers
movie.
reference.
Like, I understand that, it's Smash Bros. And there's even, like, I own it, the Amiibo where you can switch out the different stands in the Amiibo and stuff. I'm like, when it happened, I was like, that is wild to have to have in the game. But and then the other thing I was going to bring up is I would like to know, just the first movie kept a lot of the references and things more like we're just focusing on core sort of OG big picture Mario reference and stuff, it's like, here's a couple things, here's the OG sort of Mario references, Mario Kart obviously and all that sort of stuff, and nothing really getting in there. This movie really gets in there, and it doesn't even, like, obviously there's a lot of Mario Galaxy references and recreations and stuff, whatnot, but then and then when they started doing stuff, even in the opening when they redo like the Mario 64 letter that Peach sends to Mario, like Dear Mustache and stuff. I'm like, oh, Mario 64, we're like getting up there. But then they're all the way into Super Mario Wonder with the references. I'm like, you're referencing the current, like the last. There's several, including most prominently, or the one that stood out straight away, was literally just the fact that Bowser Jr. has his thing, and he can turn into an axe and all that sort of shit. Yeah, like all that's all from Wonder. So I was like, you really, instead of following in line,
that's the first time he's been cool. So
possibly,
was he a serious threat before?
No, I mean, no, exactly. I guess, but when I saw that, I was like, oh, we're already. Like, we're just all in at the stage. Unlike the first movie, they're like, nah, fuck it. Everything up until the current game.
Yeah.
The whole movie, I'm like, where's the talking flower? Like, might as well do it now. No?
Somewhere else off screen.
Totally. Must have been.
Yeah.
Other stuff I did like, similar to the first movie, the music, the way that it integrates different themes from the games, everything from classic themes to even when they first go over the Rosalina's ship, it has like the Galaxy theme playing, integrated with the new music from, is it Brian Tyler?
Brian Tyler?
Brian Tyler does the soundtrack, right? Yeah. So obviously his work integrated well with these classic themes and stuff. So that was good. However, it's funny to me how they do such a more, they tackle that with delicacy and more subtlety of interjecting these musical themes and elements, and then everything that's visually is loud and aggressive and coming at you 100 miles an hour references, so yeah.
With the soundtrack, you could be subtle.
Yeah,
visual things you need to hammer it home.
Visuals, hammer it home, yeah.
In case people don't see it.
Yeah. In case they're watching while on TikTok. Get off your phone at the cinema, motherfuckers. Let's do some wondrous elements. So pick 2 elements that stood out to you the most. Animation, visual style, music and sound design, voice performances, world building, emotional impact.
I think visual design. I think like they brought everything to life really well, and like it all looks good. Like, and which is, it's interesting because other thing that I've seen is like people compare this movie to AI Slop, which I think is incredibly unfair because it is a very pretty movie. It looks good. AI wishes it could, Sure, Illumination might have like a very basic, like, lighting, or like the faces are kind of,
I mean, that's the
not
decision,
super.
though, I feel so.
Yeah, I think they're quite normal, but yeah, to compare it to AI shit, I think is a very, very hyperbolic statement. So, I would say that, and then I guess maybe the voice performances. Like, I think Donald Glover is.
Mia.
I mean, no, Chris Pratt.
That
Chris
one
Pratt
line when the cast is
reconfirmed.
coming down. Mamma mia.
Yeah, just Chris Pratt is not. I still can't believe he's Mario. Yoshi, Don Glover as Yoshi, couldn't recognize him. If they had have just not revealed it till the credit came up, that would have been crazy to see people's reaction that way.
I just like he's doing the full cast interviews and everything. Just it's like there's Donald Glover. Who were you in this movie? Yoshi.
I think Jack Black again does a pretty good job with what he's asked to do for Bowser. I think Brie Larson does a good job with the little bit she gets to do with
underutilized
Rosalina. Yes. All the little lunar stars, they're all great. Keegan-Michael Key is Toad pretty solid as well. I especially love the line, yeah, like you said before. So he's just part of the group now?
Yeah. This dinosaur just shows up and he's part of the group now? Okay.
Yeah. Why not?
I'll say like the Peach line later where she's like, and more dinosaurs keep appearing.
Yeah.
As the like baby T-Rex.
Baby T-Rex. Glen Powell, like a pretty solid fit for Fox McCloud.
Oh, very, 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 very much. Crazy he's good at playing pilots. That seems to be.
Yeah. This is
fits it. Yeah. I'll go animation visual style. I think that the film is like really, really pretty. I have no problem with the animation style. I think any complaints about facial features or whatnot that's an artistic choice that is a continuation from the first movie, and I don't mind it. I think it works perfectly well for the Mario universe and characters and fits it well. So I have no complaints about it. I think it's very good looking, and that's a big positive it has going for it. It's a pretty play box of shit getting chucked at you. I'll go world building, just because even if it is a box of random shit getting chucked at you constantly, it does build upon
the world.
Said world. There's a lot introduced here the second they go to multiple galaxies and introduce all these other characters, and then obviously most prominently introduce the possibility of the Star Fox movie being the next thing. So, or presumably would be the next thing. Yeah.
But I don't think it is the next thing. It's probably the character who didn't show up in this movie is the next thing.
The donk. Well, the donk showed up for 2 seconds.
Did he?
In the New York scene, there's a moment where Yoshi's going past, and in the background, Donkey Kong's jumping along a bunch of what do you call it, like crane things in the sky, like classic Donkey Kong style.
Wow, this movie's going to be great when we can watch it at home, but we can just pause.
Yeah,
or when the IGN article comes out with every single reference.
Yeah, I don't know if someone's done it. Well, they probably can't. They'll need to wait till the Blu-ray comes out and someone does a breakdown. But like the fact that I noticed that and you didn't even see that is like goes to show that if you're looking at the ass. The fat ass. There's so much shit in that donkey. Well, I mean, there's so much shit in every scene, which is such a double-sided sword. But yeah, Donkey Kong is seen
double-edged sword.
Double-edged sword. Yeah, he's seen for a couple seconds doing classic Donkey Kong shit, like jumping around across stuff. Don't know what he's really doing or what's going on. But all right, favorite moment, scene, sequence, or character from this one?
I think it is the puppet sequence where Bowser is telling this goodnight story to his Bowser Jr. and like doing a puppet show. Because I think the animation in that is quite really interesting and like unlike anything else in the film. It's like it was weird thing in this movie that visually that he's able to pull off, And Jack Black's really good at this version of Bowser. So What about you?
I kind of just want to pick Yoshi.
Yeah,
it's like
that's fine.
Thing. I guess if I have to tie the character pick to something, I will say I think my favorite Yoshi scene was, as cute as he is when he first introduced, when they get back to the kingdom and they do the sequence of them all getting changed. That's funny as is because they just get back in the plumber gear, obviously. But just then follow that up with all the kissy Peach stuff, and Yoshi's like playing along, but also the fact that Yoshi has those sunglasses on the whole time was making me laugh for some fucking weird reason.
Yoshi, who's been there for 5 minutes, suddenly.
Yeah, it's just so funny. Oh, good shit. Yeah.
Do you know what my first thought in this movie was? This is dumb. So they come in and they're wearing those cool ponchos. They look really cool in them. And then they take the fire plant. And they burn the ponchos. So they have to buy new ponchos all the time?
Yeah.
They just burn in all their clothes every time they take a power up?
Yeah. I mean, technically, every time they take a power up, just burn all their clothes, right? So, like...
I guess technically they get replaced?
Then the clothes, they get replaced.
Plant
something, but however it works.
When they get damage.
Hit.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say I also appreciated the... there's obviously a ton of references. The Mario World, Super Mario 3 esque overlay, world overlay, when they're doing all the tasks around the Mushroom Kingdom.
Side quests,
yeah, and those were pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then I appreciated they pulled the ships, the all the Koopa ships are the ones from Mario 3, the big wooden ones that you have to go across.
Even there's references to all sorts of shit like this. Even the festival sort of looks like, and I could be wrong, but it's like Super Mario RPG and stuff like that, or whatever. So, my question, my statement / question I have about this movie that I really need to put out there, so before I can move on. Why didn't Bowser just jump out of the castle? Because if he jumped out of the castle, landed splat on the floor, he would have taken damage and gone back to full size.
Because I hate to be that guy. Show is rehabilitated, you know.
Yeah, but he wasn't always the first time he's put.
I mean, also at any point he could have jumped and taken damage. Maybe you have to be hit though. It can't be self-inflicted damage.
Are we sure?
You know,
jump out of the castle. Jump out of the window.
There's no fall damage in Mario, so
okay. So jump out of the castle, jump out of the window, no fall damage.
Yeah,
go run under someone's foot.
Clearly, he's not that bright. Didn't think, not a criminal mastermind in the way that we think. You know?
No, but I'm sitting there straight away. My mind just goes, he can escape whenever he wants.
But also, he's trying to win back Peach, so he's trying to do the right thing, you know.
But I don't know if he would have been when he first got put in there. Is my thing. Like how many? We don't know how many years.
Maybe he was like a little bit more captive. You know what I mean? When he first got in.
All right. Well, for the third movie,
I'm sure there's a ton of questions that we could ask about a whole bunch of things. You know.
Yeah, I just need some more clarifications around how the power ups.
Like how did Kamek find Bester Jr.? Where did all these Koopas go post the first film? That they're suddenly on Bowser. Did he go find them in the Bowser world?
I guess so. When you turn into dry, whatever. What's dry?
Dry bones.
No, but what's
also is that a video game thing? Dry Bowser.
Yeah. I think I'm trying to work. Is it called Dry Bowser or something else? Anyway, when it is a video game thing, but when you turn into that, obviously in the video game, you then defeat him in that form. End of story. But now that he's in it this thing, I'm like, will he grow back? That's something that's never tackled in the game, obviously, because you just roll credits and move on with your life.
Yeah, you go to the next game.
Yeah. I'm like, will he now be able to grow back into his turbo skin?
You just find a power up that lets you.
Grace,
you know, he has extra life or something, you know?
Yeah. But no, that's why when he first went to lava, I was like, oh, he ain't dead. I've seen this before. In Galaxy, I think maybe. I could be wrong on that.
No,
Galaxy
it's Dry Bowser, New Super Mario Brothers. Is what it.
New Super Mario Bros. Fuck, I was way off. Okay. Who was I thinking of then that turns into a lava thing? I don't know. It's been a while.
He also New Super Mario Brothers 2 and Super Mario 3D Land, apparently. Also, Super Mario and Luigi, Paper Jam, and Super Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story, but plus Bowser Jr.'s Journey.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Animated Wonders. Let us know what you thought of the film on social media at explosionnetwork.com/follow. If you enjoyed the show, you can find more podcasts, reviews, and pop culture coverage over at explosionnetwork.com. And if you'd like to support the podcast and Explosion Network, head on over to explosionnetwork.com/support. Until the next episode, remember that animation is cinema.